Today we are going to be making this super cute robot birthday card. You start by making your card base. Just get an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and put it on your scoreboard. Then you're going to score at 5.5 inches. And once you have scored your paper, cut along your score line. And this will actually give you 2 card bases so you can have some on file to make another project later. Then you're going to take your half and score it at 4.25 inches and then fold it along that score line. And I like to go over it with my tool just to give it a nice sharp crease. Next, you're going to be using this little robot stamp. These are from the Tim Holtz blueprints. I am inking it with navy ink because I didn't want to do a harsh black. I wanted that bright, colorful feel. Once you have him inked, it's time to color him, and you can get a list of all of the materials that I used, including the exact Tombow markers, on my website. There is a link in the description. And you're going to start with orange, and what you're actually going to do is scribble it on one of your acrylic blocks and then use a paintbrush and water and dip your paintbrush in the water and then go over your scribble. You can use any acrylic block for this and just use it like you would watercolor paint. You want to make sure that your edges are darker than the centers because you want to give the illusion of depth and it makes it look rounded. So you'll notice that I go over the edges a bit more heavily than I do the other sections. Next, you're going to do your gray. And I just did his little arms and bits with the gray. Again, make sure that you go back over it and darken up like the insides. Just anywhere that there should be a natural shadow, you want to make sure you add that in. Look at him coming together. He's so cute. Alright, now you're going to go in with some green and do accents. Same concept here. Make sure you have the lighter and darker contrast. It really just gives it a pop, makes it look more realistic. And you'll notice that I am lightly going over the cross-hatching areas with the green just to darken it up. And then go in with a blue and put the highlights, the shadows on. Next, you're going to take a teal piece of paper. This came from A2 pad of paper from scrapbook.com. And you're going to go over it with a scalloped die. Whatever scalloped die you have is fine. Mine wasn't long enough, so I cut it once and then lined it back up and did the rest of the... Next, you're going to ink the open edge of your front card flap with green. It's like a bright lime green ink. You don't have to do the whole thing. You just need to do enough so that when you attach your scalloped paper, that the green shows through. And just use your glue runner and pop that right on the front. And then you can see that little peak of green coming through. Next, you're going to add your ribbon. This is just some ribbon that I've had for years. I thought it coordinated well. I couldn't even tell you where I got it. Then once you cut your little piece about 2 inches, you just want to cut the ends so that you get the nice little wings at the edges. And then attach it with your glue runner. You want to make sure it overlaps just a little bit onto the green, but most of it should be on your teal paper. You're actually going to cut off all of the blueprint stuff. I love it, but for this I wanted something just a bit more fun, whimsical. You want to make sure that you go in with your small detail scissors. and that way you can really get into all those little nooks and crannies and get a nice clean cut. This part does take a little bit of time. It's not always fun cutting out by hand, unless you're a freak like me and like cutting things with scissors. And you'll notice as I go along, I do leave the white between the arms and the body, and then also the white that is between the legs. I just wanted to have a bit more of a stable base for attaching him to the card. Right, now you're going to get a small scrap of white paper, and you're going to place your scallop die on the edges and run it through your machine. This one is a bit sharper than the one that I used on the main card part, the teal paper. And once you've done both edges, you want to chalk your edges. I use this teal. I only did the scalloped edges. I did not do the shorter sides. And then once you've chalked your edges, you want to stamp your birthday sentiment. Mine's just a little simple one that says happy birthday. And you just stamp that with black ink right there in the center. Now you'll notice that I attached the robot and a square of holographic paper to the card. The holographic paper is from a balloon dog birthday card that I did. I don't like to waste, and I thought it added a little bit of shiny to it, and those are both just attached with the glue runner. And then I'm using foam mounting adhesive for the little birthday saying, and you're just going to pop that on, just slightly overlapping your little robot leg. And that's the front. Now we're going to do the inside, and I decided to stick with simple for the inside. We are using 2 stamps from this pack. So get your acrylic block, and then you line up both stamps on the block. That way you don't have to worry about lining them up on the paper as you're stamping them. You can just stamp it all at once. And again, I'm just stamping this in black ink. And this right to the inside right flap of the card. And that's it. Super simple card. The hardest part, it's not even hard, the most time-consuming part is cutting out your robot. The rest is pretty easy peasy. And as always, you can get a list of all of the materials I used, plus a written tutorial on my website. The link is in the description. And if you like this, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more fun cards and paper crafts coming your way.